This podcast was brought to you by many things, but mostly coffee. Of course, we would really like to thank our hosts down at Central Texas College for allowing us to use their space to record this podcast. But other than that, you can pretty much just thank the nectar of the gods and a whole lot of work from me. We will hopefully be throwing in some sponsor reads and things like that in the future, but as for now, this is it. Not really sure what the name of the podcast is going to be, but I really hope you enjoy. And if you don't, well, that's fine. No, what's going on? Hey! The podcast. Welcome. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, whoever, whenever, wherever you're listening to this. This is our podcast about movies and other things that we're interested in. Names. We'll take suggestions. How's it going, Aaron?
Hello, my name's Aaron. And
my name's Noah. I'll probably be carrying the conversation for the majority of these first couple episodes, but that's okay.
Yes. I'm just here to progress the conversation.
Yeah, because me talking to myself and nobody else is gonna be pretty difficult. So today, what I want to talk about is I want to take this opportunity to talk about what movies we like and just like really about ourselves for these first couple episodes, so people can understand who we are as a person and just get to know us as people.
Yes, I agree.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Aaron.
I'm a big movie buff. I mostly love old movies. A lot of young people these days love old movies for the fact that they want to be different, because
makes them quirky.
Makes them quirky, because they want to differentiate themselves from people who watch movies on Netflix and stuff and watch old movies on black and white movies just to say, oh my god, I love this old movie. I'm so quirky.
I love Citizen Kane. It's such a good movie.
But it is a good movie. Do you love Citizen Kane?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Never seen Citizen Kane.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing I've ever heard of it is, well, you just said it was good, but also I've heard that it's not as good as people say it is. So, who knows?
It's not as good as people say it is? Well, Citizen Kane, I believe, I forgot his actor, but he produced it, he acted it, and he directed it. And that takes a lot.
Yeah, I believe you.
That takes a lot.
Well.
What's your experience in film?
I don't have a whole lot of film experience. I've been producing something of some kind ever since I was a kid.
You just finished your first short film.
Yeah, I've never actually finished one other than last week. I've started many, never finished any of them, if that makes sense. I've been throwing things online and working on things like having to do with film and other things like that since I was 12. So I don't really see it as a huge achievement. I'm gonna make a lot more in the future. So
do you want to have a career in film?
That would be ideal, but I don't really see it happening.
You don't see it happening?
I don't.
Yeah. Most realistically, if you want to be in film in this market right now, it's mostly for commercial work, advertisements and marketing and stuff like that. That's if you want to be behind the camera and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you want to work in big storytelling productions, I'd say you have to move somewhere else.
Oh, for sure. I'm not staying here.
I don't think there's not much going on in Central Texas.
Yeah.
Not from what I know, from my limited source of connections.
Right.
There's not much going on.
Hopefully with the podcast and with me working here at the radio station, we could have something happen at all. I mean, we're not too terribly far from Austin, but,
There's so many things that go under the radar, and I think that's kind of sad.
Honestly.
You know what I mean? What's the population?
I don't know, 2 billion or something?
2 billion.
Close to 3?
Well, let's just say there's a lot of people in the whole world, and there's a lot of people that want to go make a name, but they can't because...
Because?
They can't make a name because they just don't have exposure. Either it's because of, they're locked by their region, or they don't have proper social connections, or they don't know how. They're not trained.
Because it's not about who you know; it's about who knows you.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be a certain personality.
For sure.
You can't go on and be you want to make films by being introverted. You have to go out there.
Ryan Reynolds is still Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Even if he's not Ryan Reynolds, I guess. You can be just as talented in the acting department as Ryan Reynolds is. But if you're not the same type of personality, he's super extroverted. That's why he plays all of his roles so well. If you're not that type of personality, you just can't get roles like that. And I feel like introverts have their place. You can play an introvert, but I don't really think you can be an introvert, if that makes sense.
And that's where we got, character actors like Jim Carrey and like Ryan Reynolds. They have these certain characters that they play.
They're essentially the same character every time they play a role.
That one Asian actor, I forgot his name.
The doctor guy?
From the Hangover.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Yes.
Same character every time.
Yes.
That's my same problem with Will Smith. That is my biggest problem with Will Smith.
With Will Smith.
Because Will Smith...
And The Rock.
Yeah, well...
The Rock. The Rock is becoming a character actor.
He's gotten better than he used to be, but my biggest issue with Will Smith particularly is Will Smith doesn't play a character every time he plays a character. He plays Will Smith as that character. Like... In Aladdin, he didn't play the genie. He did not play that character well. He doesn't play Oscar in Shark Tales. He plays Will Smith as a fish. Like basically any movie that he plays in, especially action films, I just cannot take Will Smith seriously as I'ma kick some ass movie.
Remember that Shark Tale film?
Oh my god.
They made the fish look like Will Smith.
No, they did.
And I was like, wow, this is very uncanny valley. And this is Will Smith. I love that movie. I can't see the fish as
Oscar.
Yes, it's Will Smith.
Just Will Smith.
And that ruins like my suspension of disbelief. And I'm sure there's people out there who who go on living like saying, "Oh my God, Will Smith is playing this character," and they view that character as that character, not as Will Smith. They're not as aware.
When it comes to films, the worst part about liking films so much is that you enjoy them, so you look into them, so you're just cursed with knowledge, and I hate it.
That's horrible. That's horrible, actually.
Because every time
you can't enjoy the film.
It's not that you can't enjoy it because certain times it'll enhance the experience, but when things that would normally not stand out to somebody who just watches movies stand out to you as a film person. So especially like aged CG,
like aged CG. Continuity errors,
yeah.
Oh Christ, that just takes
let's say there's a scene in a movie that cuts in between three different people having a conversation, and at the beginning of the conversation, somebody grabs your button-up dress shirt and wrinkles it up a bit, and every single take, the shirt is wrinkled in a different way. So every time it cuts to you speaking, it's different. Just like stuff like that probably wouldn't stand out. It stands out or like to people.
It's like there's a dialogue scene and one person's talking and the other person's talking and the other person has like different hair or like there's a different like body position.
Right.
The body position is what irks me because oh my God, and in the other dialogue, in the other face, because they cross cut, it's not the same position. Just as long as you have suspension of disbelief, you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Definitely a certain state to enjoy it.
Typecasting is definitely an interesting topic. You hate to see it because the best actors, they have range. That's what I like about Robin Williams so much is all the different characters he could play. Rest in peace.
I just saw a movie about him recently. It was called, have you seen The Greatest Dad Ever?
No, I didn't even know it was a thing.
It's a dark comedy movie. It's about Robin Williams. He's playing like a teacher. Well, his son is into like sexual stuff. But one night he comes home and finds out his son died of like asphyxiation due to erotic reasons.
Oh God. And
the scene of Robin Williams breaking down and crying got to me. I was like, oh,
yeah, this
is so sad.
Yeah. You can do a convincing cry. Like you're in there. It's not just about crying on demand. It's the sobbing. It's everything.
He was crying. His son was like dead.
Yeah.
He was hanging.
No, and him being a father definitely, I guarantee, helped with that. Man, scenes like that and really good CG gets me. I mean, I'm talking like slasher stuff. Like, have you ever seen the movie Brightburn?
Yes.
You know the scene with the car accident where the guy's jaw falls out of his face?
Oh my God.
Oh, that scene, it gets me every time.
From Robin Williams.
It's so good.
To Brightburn. Amazing.
That scene was so great. That scene alone is why I show that movie to people. Because that scene was amazing.
I do like Brightburn. I like to imagine that's what Superman would be like if he was like raised.
No, it's definitely more realistic. It's a I wouldn't say nihilistic outlook on what would happen, dude, but it's definitely more like grounded.
Have you watched Indian in the Cupboard?
Yes, dude, I love that movie.
Yes. Every time I tell someone, hey, do you know the movie Indian in the Cupboard? And like, What are you talking about,
Yeah.
dude?
No,
What are you, a racist? I was like,
no, the wicked thing is, that's a Disney movie.
They don't know what it is.
Disney would never make, like, nowadays, Disney would never make a film about the racial tensions between natives and Westerners and, like, how horrible all that was.
They would not. They would.
And that movie, I mean, I don't know if the CG still holds up today, but I remember it being awesome and great and convincing.
When you rewatch it as an adult,
well, I kind of really don't want to. I appreciate it for, like, attention to detail and everything throughout the movie. But my favorite part about the film is I had it on VHS as a kid, and the plastic case that the VHS tape came in had a little keyhole on the side. Oh. So, like, the VHS box was shaped like the cupboard. I thought that was really cool. Indian in the Cupboard, that's such a good movie.
How about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Oh, that's such a good movie.
I know.
I think Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves is much better, but...
Honey, yeah, you think so?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's got the Hot Wheels scene in it. Do you have any idea how often I dreamt about driving a Hot Wheels car around as a kid?
You could. Realistically, now I'm thinking about you could drive a Hot Wheels car if you try hard enough. Just buy, like, a beat-up old, like, I don't know, Civic.
What?
Like buy a beat-up old Civic and slam on, like, a body kit on it. Paint it neon green. No,
I think we should just invent, like, enlarging Ray and just make a Hot Wheels car big.
No.
It'd be so much simpler.
You know what? Now I think about it, an enlarging array would be pretty cool, you know?
It really would.
Yeah. Let's enlarge animals.
Yeah, let's get a huge ant.
Yeah. Let's have a larger rat. Yeah, rats.
Oh my gosh.
Rats everywhere. Larger rats. I feel like New York would have felt.
Oh my gosh.
Have you been to New York?
I've been to New York once. The place is disgusting. I'll never go back.
Oh my God! You might have offended someone from New York.
Oh, sorry, New Yorkers, but you know it's true.
I agree. I don't want to.
Especially the Bronx. Don't go to the Bronx.
I would not live in New York.
Don't go to the Bronx.
It's literally congested. I would say congested.
I wouldn't live in New York City. I'd live in New York State and then visit the city. But I'm also the type of guy who wants to move to Chicago. So
upstate New York is way better.
Oh yeah.
Yes, New York City.
It's expensive.
New York City. I feel like a lot of young people are moving in there.
Well, they were until COVID happened, and there were literal thief dens. They literally left in droves. New Yorkers.
Oh Christ!
Nobody lived in the city. Okay.
Okay. One of my favorite movies is Fast and the Furious.
Oh my Lord! Don't. Okay.
One.
Okay. There you go.
You think I was gonna say
Maybe
Tokyo Drift?
Two.
Huh?
Anything? No, I didn't think you were gonna say Tokyo Drift.
Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
No. Okay. First of all, Tokyo Drift is good because it's nothing like any of the other Fast films.
Yes.
Other than the first, like the only movie that Tokyo Drift relates to is the first one and maybe the second one.
Tokyo Drift was more in drifting, not.
Right, but at least it's about cars and it's about racing. It's not about taking an F-150 out of an airplane at dropping height and then parachuting it onto a road.
Oh my God, that's the new Fast and Furious movie. So we're talking about Fast and Furious 1, 2.
Yes.
Maybe 3.
Anything after the first couple films in Tokyo Drift is absolute trash.
Fast and Furious 1 and 2.
For the record, Tokyo Drift is my favorite.
I believe 1 almost captured the street racing scene in the 2000s.
I think it's come closer than any film ever will.
Yes. From what my family members who were in the street racing scene in LA in 2000s, yeah, it was like that.
You know, it's the best you're going to get from an outsider's perspective.
Mm-hmm. The editing, I would say...
Oh, God.
I would say it's not the best, but the street racing, the cars, I'd say they're not that accurate.
Right.
They're not that accurate.
Right.
It's mostly... They were brightly colored cars, not much stickers. Brightly colored cars, lowered, big wheels, chrome. Wings.
Chrome, he says under his breath.
Chrome was big. Chrome was big.
Chrome has been big, and
2000s.
Speaking of chrome, I'm so glad that the automotive market is finally pivoting away from chrome. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm probably wrong, but the only big automotive company that I've seen that's completely pivoted away from chrome, meaning removing all chrome accents and replacing them with a matte black color, is Tesla. And when it comes to companies like Tesla, or any high-end car company, stuff like that tends to trickle down. You saw it happen with the rear view cameras and just basically any infotainment in general.
And I'm just saying, I'm thinking, Is there any movie recently that featured a Tesla? Have you thought of a movie recently?
I have no idea, but you just gave me a phenomenal idea.
What?
Transformers sequel where they involve electric cars.
I mean, there's a new Transformers coming out.
Oh.
It's called Rise of the Beasts.
Really?
Yes.
You.
No, don't say.
They're
Don't
gonna
say
focus on
ew.
those dinosaur things.
I love Transformers.
I like the Transformers too, but like I don't want them to focus on the kaiju stuff.
It's not kaiju. They're animals, bro. They're animals. I love Transformers. I love.
Yeah,
Transformers.
Michael Bay did a great job in every single one of those films. Except for maybe the third one.
I started watching Transformers like 2000s with like I think it was
I started watching
Armada. It was anime Transformers.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then Beast Wars, and then I rewatched the G1. Dude, I'm a Transformers nerd. But Rise of the Beasts, new movie coming out. I think they're filming in New York, and I say New York, but realistically they're using Canada as a placeholder for New York.
Mark Wahlberg?
Nope.
Oh, they're doing a reboot, huh?
They're using the guy from, what's that called? The musical just came out.
Hamilton?
No, not Hamilton. The next one after that.
The guy with I think
He's Puerto Rican.
Evan Hansen. Oh wait, what?
He's Puerto Rican. The main actor is Puerto Rican. But no idea. There's this Transformer. Her name is Nightbird, and she transforms to a Nissan GTR.
Oh God!
So they just released the pictures of the GTR, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yo, she thick.
In the art, she is. They made her curvy. They made a Transformer curvy.
Well,
that's crazy.
See, Michael Bay needs to come up with what the rules are for Transformers, because in Transformers 2, there was this human who transformed into a lion, like a lion.
Not a lion. It was like a thin robot.
Panther or whatever.
Yeah.
She like transformed into an animal and then back into a person. They need to come up with what is fair game. Like, why couldn't Bumblebee just why couldn't he just scan Sam Witwicky? Why?
So
I don't understand.
But here's the thing with movies. Marketing, from a marketing perspective, sex appeal sells. Sex sells. And I'm not going to lie to you.
Sex sells.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
What?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. People love beautiful people.
Yeah. I mean, I like...
If you attach a beautiful person to the product, most likely people will buy it.
Yeah.
And if you attach
anything Mark Wahlberg has been in ever.
If you attach multiple beautiful people to a product, most likely people will buy it.
You can overdo it, though. Like, Kardashians and basically any reality TV show nowadays.
Don't you just... There are actual people in this world that care about what the Kardashians think.
Well, I mean, there's also... Never mind. Let's not go down that alley.
Let's not go down the road then. Those are the people that work and like think they're gonna make it.
One day I will be an Instagram influencer and I will prove everyone wrong.
Yes, they're people like you're gonna encounter them. You're gonna encounter them in like a workplace
or in line at Six Flags.
Oh, like yes, Six Flags. You're gonna encounter them in Six Flags or like the mall, maybe even school.
Oh boy,
you don't know.
If anybody's encountering somebody like that in school, my heart goes out to you. You'll be in my prayers.
Encounter someone like that in school.
Oh God, can you imagine having to deal with somebody like that 5 days a week for like 6 hours every single day?
You're in a group, right?
Right.
Hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a group, and your leader is not a good leader. They're just there for attention. They tell you to do this and do that, but they have no direction. They use all these like high definition words when it's realistically you don't need to use those high definition words.
That's very elementary of you.
That's very elementary. No, don't be shy. Please do not be very. Please don't do this. Don't do that.
I live in a stress-free, drama-free environment. Oh
my God, no. They use words like, the statistics say this and that. Well, dude,
Dude, we're talking about corn of the cob. We didn't want to know the subtle nuances of stock trading.
I don't need to know how the machinations of how the Nazi Party rose. Dude.
Oh my God!
I don't need a history lesson.
We could go on a whole rant about how inaccurate and ridiculous History Channel documentaries used to be about the Nazi Party.
There's this movie called The Pianist. Have you seen it?
No.
With Adrian Brody. The Pianist is such a sad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's following a Jewish pianist in World War II. Family gets taken away in the Holocaust, and then it just follows him surviving where he was, and he was homeless. But at the end, he finds out he encounters this Nazi officer who was very kind to him, and it broke my wall. It humanized the Nazi party. And I was like,
Let's talk about some movies that you're looking forward to.
The movies I'm looking forward to: Transformers.
What about anything more recent?
What movies are you looking forward to, actually?
Okay, movies I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Dune, which comes out on Friday. Then Eternals comes out the next Friday. And then Licorice Pizza, which is like a B film, comes out the next Friday. It's like a chick flick, but
who's the main? I know the main character in that one.
Do you really?
The main guy, the main male lead.
No idea. I didn't even think you would understand what movie I was talking
about. Actually, I feel like he's the son of someone.
I don't remember.
He's the son of someone.
Licorice Pizza looks really good. I'll take my girlfriend to see that one.
Cooper Hoffman. That's his name?
Cooper Hoffman. No idea who that is.
He's the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, okay. And then Son of Gucci comes out, which I'm only going to see because Adam Driver's in it.
You're gonna watch what?
House of Gucci.
Only because Adam
Driver plays the main character. I've seen every Adam Driver movie.
Do you love Adam Driver?
I love Adam Driver. I just went and saw The Last Duel, which, word of advice, don't take your girlfriend to see that.
Why?
It's got 3 different depictions of rape.
The Last Duel?
And it goes very, very into detail.
The last Duel came out of nowhere. I didn't hear about it. It was absolutely horrible. I don't know. I'd say advertisements, no marketing for it.
I mean, the only reason I knew it even existed was because I saw the ad in another theater. And the movie kind of just happened.
It just happened?
Whoa. So the plot of the movie is...
Do you recommend the movie?
You could see it or you could not. If I'm going on a 10-point scale, I'd think it's maybe a 5 or a 6.
A 5? Damn, that's not good then. It's not as good.
Okay, so I think for me, 5. A 5 is like Empire. A 5 is like a 5 is it's not bad at all. 5 is like it doesn't do anything exceptionally well, but it's not bad in any way at all. A 5 is like Grown Ups.
Oh my
God.
God.
Grown Ups is a 5 for me.
Really? You think Grown Ups is a 5?
Well, okay, no. Maybe Grown Ups is closer to a 4, but I'm trying to think of like middle of the road movies. I think Grown Ups is kind of like a 3.5. But
do you like Adam Sandler?
I used to love Adam Sandler. Nothing that he's made recently has been good.
Nothing?
Nothing. Name one. Okay, no. Uncut Gems was pretty good. That was Adam Sandler.
That was a good movie. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems is really good. But comedy-wise, he's definitely fallen off the horse.
Comedy-wise,
Jack and Jill makes me want to gouge my eyes.
Oh my God, Jack and Jill is horrible. Actually, waste of my time.
That is the antithesis of bad Adam Sandler.
I fast-forwarded a lot. One
of my favorite Adam Sandler movies has definitely got to be 50 First Dates, but that's like a cop-out answer.
50 First Dates was really good.
Click was really good.
I watched that movie multiple times. It's like a guilty pleasure.
Twice.
It's like a guilty pleasure for me.
Yeah. What was the one about the hotel and like 50 Wishes or something like that?
The hotel.
Yeah, about this guy who's watching his girlfriend's kids, and like every time.
I know what you're talking about.
Every time he tells a bedtime story to them, it happens the next day.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like a kids movie, I think.
I'm pretty sure it was made by Disney.
I forgot what it was.
That one was.
I watched it when I was a kid. Happy Gilmore.
Oh, I love Happy Gilmore. Mr. Deeds.
Yes.
Mr. Deeds. Oh.
Happy Gilmore was a good one.
Great stuff.
What's your opinion on the Dumb and Dumber movies? Why'd you sigh?
You have to ask what my opinion is on Jim Carrey in general.
What do you think about Jim Carrey then?
I have to be in the mood for Jim Carrey because I love Dumb and Dumber. The first one, anyways. And in the second movie, there are certain scenes that just pop into my head, like they live rent-free in my mind constantly. But as for like Jim Carrey as a whole...
there's certain scenes in the Dumb and Dumber movie that made me like think.
I like that Tommy gun scene.
There's like serious scenes in the Dumb and Dumber movie. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, is this guy right in the head?
Yeah, I was like, what is this? What's going on? And then I was like, okay, back to reality.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it's in the first one or the second one, but there's a really good joke where he's like, they're both getting off of the city bus, and the driver's like, hey, what about your bike? And they go, oh, that wasn't ours. Somebody just left it in front of our house. He says, what? He goes, yeah, it was double chained to a tree. And then they just walked away. I don't remember why I never forgot that joke. It was great. It's a great joke.
Dumb and Dumber. You think they're going to be a remake of Dumb and Dumber in the future?
They already did a sequel which bombed, so I doubt it.
Starring who?
Jim Carrey and both the whole original cast.
Was there a Dumb and Dumber movie? Maybe it was a fever dream. But
it was Dumb and Dumber 2.
Where
Jim Carrey thinks that he has a kid, and so they have to travel across the country to get that kid. And there's a hearing aid scene where they go into something happens, and the guy who's not Jim Carrey, that I don't remember the name of, can't hear anything. So they have to sneak into a retirement home, and they have sex with this old lady in order to get her hearing aid, and it gives the guy who's not Jim Carrey superpowers.
Okay, it was not Dumb and Dumber.
What was it?
I think it was something else. What do you think about 21st Jump Street?
21 Jump Street?
21 Jump Street.
I think 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street were okay when I was like a 12-year-old when they came out.
When you were a 12-year-old?
You cannot watch them anymore.
You can't watch them anymore?
Yeah.
Once you watch them the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest movies ever. I was like,
no, I never even thought that. I just thought it was funny.
I thought that was a good movie.
You want to talk about a bad movie, like a really bad, terrible movie, like a movie that makes me physically angry? Okay, Baywatch. Baywatch makes me so mad.
The remake?
I hate Baywatch.
I did not watch it.
That movie is so... I
didn't bother watching it.
The worst. The acting is bad. The stunt work is bad. The writing is bad. It's all terrible.
Yes, go on.
The main antagonist is so bad.
There's an antagonist?
Yes. And I don't know if it's Gal Gadot or whoever, but it's some Hispanic woman, and she's like, "Oh, I've been the villain all along," and she runs the freaking okay. So the plot is there's these dead bodies who are dying from overdoses on the beach, and it's because of this new blue pill that they have in the bag that's been found on all the dead bodies. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is like, hey, every time the police take away a dead body, they leave behind these bags of drugs. So I need to talk to the detective. Oh, hi, look, there's the drugs in the bodies. Why aren't you looking into this? And they're like, duh, duh, duh. And then the lady who runs the lifeguards, like she's the boss of all the lifeguards, is like, hey, you should stop looking into this, yada yada yada. And then eventually The Rock loses his job, and Zac Efron and The Rock are both butting heads throughout the whole movie. And at the end, there's a whole gunfight scene, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I think, gets shot in the chest or whatever, but he falls off of a dock and lands on this sea urchin who is essentially supposed to give you superpowers or whatever. So it's like, I feel no pain, and then he blows up his boss with an RPG or something, and they all live happily ever after. That whole movie is so bad. Ugh!
Are you okay?
I'm good, better.
I'm much better now. Okay.
Baywatch makes me so mad.
Baywatch?
That movie is so bad.
Do you think what would you have done to make Baywatch better?
I wouldn't have made it.
You wouldn't have made it?
I would not have made it.
You would just left it?
I would have you know what I would have done? I would have remade an actually good, I would have just reshot an actual good movie with the cast, shoehorned some plot in, and then just distributed the rest of the, I think, $200 million budget that movie had to the actors, or just keep it for myself or something like that. I would not have tried to write something, because that movie is so derivative of so many other films, and it has nothing to do with Baywatch. Nothing at all. There's nothing to do with Baywatch as a franchise. That movie and Chips, but Chips I can forgive because Chips is a buddy cop show. They don't really have a lot to go off of, and so the fact that they depict this down on his luck California Highway Patrolman who's his wife is cheating on him with his swim instructor, and everybody makes fun of him because the Highway Patrol uniforms look like UPS uniforms, even though he's clearly a cop and could pull anybody over. That movie was good. I think it has the same problem with Baywatch as like they don't know what to make the movie about, so they just make it an action film. Like there's a scene in particular which motivates the rest of the movie where this tow truck was trying to tow away a car, but like for whatever reason the tow cable ends up going across the entire interstate. And so while this guy, like this Russian middle-aged man is, or well, no, he's like in his 20s or whatever, is running away from the highway patrol, he drives through this tow line and it cuts his head off.
In chips.
In chips.
Oh my God.
In a cop movie. And so the rest of the movie is about this big muscular Russian guy who's mad at Chips, is mad at the highway patrol specifically because now his son is dead. In a show that used to just be about two cops on the California Highway Patrol.
What do you think about John Wick?
John Wick's good.
John Wick's good.
John Wick's good. I really like... Okay, so going from terrible movies to really good movies, I know a whole lot about John Wick, about all three movies, because...
You know about John Wick?
Yeah.
You love John Wick?
I wouldn't say I love John Wick. If you want to see a movie that's better than John Wick 1, just the first one, watch Nobody. I don't know if you ever saw Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, but the guy who plays Saul in those shows plays essentially just John Wick, and it's so much better. The old guy from Back to the Future plays his dad in the movie, and like it's a sick action movie. Really, really, really good. And it just, he just plays. I mean, essentially, he's just playing Saul again. If Saul was ex-military or whatever, it's a really good movie. But as for John Wick, you'd be really.
I feel like John Wick has better choreography.
The first John Wick is really forgettable. John Wick 2.
You think the first John Wick is forgettable? The dog scene was not forgettable.
No, that movie is really good. You'd be surprised how much of his own stunts Keanu Reeves still does.
Shang-Chi
was really good.
I
like
the
all
bus
the
stunts.
homages. Oh my gosh, that bus scene. I think it took like a year and a half to get that. I watched a VFX breakdown on that movie, and you have like the Rush Hour references like on the exterior of that building. Just like that movie is so it plays so many cameo or like homages to different like really good movies, like specifically Jackie Chan and Jet Li and just other. They definitely pull a lot of inspiration for fight choreography and everything like that. That's a really I'd rewatch that movie. That's
I would rewatch Shang-Chi too.
That's my favorite film this phase for sure out of Marvel.
This phase of Marvel? Yes.
I mean, like, what other films have we gotten so far? We got a couple TV
Marvel
shows.
films?
Yeah.
Right now, it's
anything after Endgame.
Shang-Chi, definitely my favorite Marvel film right now.
Yeah.
But my favorite film? I know I didn't give you, like, a broad answer. I give you, like, a broad answer, like a bunch of films that, over time, your favorites change.
For sure.
Like, oh my God, I love this film. But then, in your opinion,
so one of the most
dies over time.
One of the most cringiest questions I ever asked my parents as a kid is I was in the car with my dad when I was like 14, and I was like, "Dad, why don't you watch anime?" He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Why don't you watch it? It's really good." He's like, "I was never interested in it, no." And I just we were silent, and I can never get that encounter out of my head. But I know what you mean by your favorites change.
Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? What was so cringy about asking your dad?
That's pretty cringe, man.
I asked my dad, "Hey, Dad, do you want to watch anime?" And I was like, "Yes, son. Let's watch Mazinger."
Corey in the house.
No, he wanted to watch this vintage anime he used to watch when he was a kid. It was
I would have totally done that.
It was called Mazinger Z, and I was like,
heard of it.
"Oh my God, I don't want to watch this." Oh.
Well, he wanted to show you something he was interested in.
Huh?
That's so mean.
No, and then every time I'd watch Gundam, he'd say, "Dude, Mazinger Z would totally beat the snot out of that guy." I was like, "Dad,
but can he beat Goku?"
Dad, this is about war and like death and robots and Mazinger.
It's about being depressed because your dad doesn't love you. Just get in the robot, Shinji.
Yeah, no, that's Evangelion.
I know.
Mazinger Z's like lighthearted, like shonen, like monster of the week type of stuff.
Okay.
And it was really popular.
Scooby-Doo but robots.
And my dad loves that.
Stardust Crusaders
anime.
but robots.
No.
Oh.
My dad loves that. It's mecha. My dad loves that anime. I was tempted to buy him a Mazinger Z shirt.
Should have done it. Should have done it.
Maybe in the future.
If we see one at Con, you got to get him one.
If
we see one at Con, you got to
We're not going to see a Mazinger Z
You don't know that.
No, I'm positive we're not going to see Mother Goosey.
Cannot wait for that, for Con, man.
For the convention?
I'm so excited.
What are you dressing up as?
Guy from Free Guy. Literally just white male.
I saw this guy and dressed up as like Free Guy. I was like, oh my god, he can totally Noah can totally cosplay that.
He could totally do it. He could totally do it.
Noah can totally do it.
It's literally any white male could do it.
As Free Guy?
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
That is the most lazy outfit there are.
And you told me you didn't want to go like overboard and stuff.
I know. It's literally just casual attire.
And it's like, oh my god, this would be perfect for Noah. And people are gonna get the reference.
Oh yeah, totally. Because I have the guy name tag.
Are you gonna have the mug?
I have many mugs. I can just take a mug.
Just take a mug.
Got my Thanos mug. I got my.
Are you gonna carry a mug around the like con though?
Yeah, dude. I could put a can in a mug.
How are you gonna buy like how are you gonna buy merch then?
I can buy a can at the con.
No,
I can buy a mug at the con.
No, how are you gonna buy merchandise? Or if you see a bunch of stuff like you want to buy and you don't have enough.
Put it in the bag.
No point. I mean, it is a hotel. You can just go back to the hotel and just drop stuff off. You're right.
That's exactly it. I spent so much time on the convention floor.
We're there for 3 days.
I know.
What are we gonna do for 3 days, man?
We'll figure it out.
Oh my god. Like what?
Watch DeAndre flake.
You think I'll flake?
We can't talk about this or he's gonna get mad at us.
No. Cut this out then.
Mm-hmm.